Hey guys, Dr. Dex here. Today we're going to talk about essential tools that you might need for your automobile. So if you like this video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We thought we'd put out a basic video about what you might need in your car as you're motoring around. So most of these items are usually in some kind of circumstance where you might need an assist or you might be willing to give somebody else an assist. The first thing I'm going to talk about then is having a nice set of jumper cables in your car. I don't know how many times I've been traveling around and somebody's like, hey man, you gotta jump, can you jump me? And somebody has a dead battery at the Home Depot or something like that. Usually, unless I'm really pressed for time, I will go ahead and say absolutely, be right over and go over and give those guys a jump. So having a set of jumper cables for your own self or just to help others is a really cool thing to have inside your car at all times. I keep mine under the passenger seat in my F350. Something else you might consider having some spares of are fuses. I picked up this kit. Now this is a true story. I went to the auto parts store, AutoZone. I picked up 2 packs of fuses for my truck that I needed, and it was over $40. And I was like, they were cool fuses, don't get me wrong. Some of them light up when they blow and that kind of thing. I was like, these are cool, but I didn't realize they were 25 bucks. So you can spend a lot of money at the auto parts store, or you can go to Amazon and get a massive kit of the right kind of fuses you need. This is a multi-pack. I have 4 different vehicles. So I have the wide blade fuses and I also have the narrow blade fuses. And they're constantly, when you're towing trailers, sometimes you ground out and a fuse blows and then you don't have lights or something like that. So, or maybe your radio blows in an older car or something like that. So having the right fuses for that particular instrument cluster, whatever it is that blows out, is invaluable in my opinion. Like, I gotta have them. So I have them in every car, and I have a master set like this in my shop ready to go to refill the ones I've lost or that are missing in my other vehicles, and I try to keep them stocked up. So having fuses, you'd be surprised at how many times something's not working and then you check the fuse, it's like, oh, the fuse is blown. Kind of basic, but it feels so good when you pop that back in and it works again, right? Okay, so having some fuses on board is always a nice thing to have. If you're in a snowy climate, you might consider carrying a set of chains. You just throw them in the trunk and you're going over the mountain pass. Sometimes they're cable, sometimes they're actually chains. I think this set is like a cable set. It's spring tension. So these wrap around if you have a rear wheel drive, front wheel drive car, you know, you kind of need to buy them to accommodate the car you're driving and the size tires that you have. So a lot of tire centers can help you with that. Obviously these have never been used, but boy, if you really needed them, it'd be great to have them in that particular circumstance where you're traveling, or even if it snows locally in your town and you need a little bit better grip, get yourself a set of chains. This next item, you may think, hey, that's ridiculous or funny, but I've actually known somebody that had to use one of these once to save their life. And this is a glass hammer. We keep one in every car in the glove box just for an emergency. If you get trapped in your vehicle and you can't get out, you're underwater, you're in a fire or something like that, this might save your life. It basically has a seatbelt cutter on one side right here that you can cut away your seatbelt, and then you can take this side and smash out a window so you can escape. So it seems like a really simple tool. My wife Kiki, she made sure we all had these for every vehicle, and now they're in every vehicle that we own, just in case you might need to bust out a window or cut your seatbelt loose so that you can get to safety. So I think these are a great tool to have in every vehicle that you own. Just keep it in your glove box. Might save a life, you never know. Might not be your life you're saving, could be somebody else. You might need to break in to another car from the outside of the car to get somebody out. So just something to have instead of trying to pick a rock up off the side of the road. These are very quick and very easy to break a window. Kind of old school guys, but you gotta have them. You're gonna need some kind of a lug wrench set and jack to get your car elevated if you get a flat tire. Fix the flat can work as well. I didn't have a can of that tonight, so unfortunately, but you can go to the auto parts store, get a can of Fix a Flat, throw it in your trunk, replace it about every 2 to 3 years because they do have an expiration date, but having a simple jack, it doesn't have to be complicated, just something you can fit under the axle. You might need to get one that fits your vehicle. and a way to turn that jack and elevate it. A lot of cars have them on board. This car behind me came with a can of Fix-A-Flat. It does not include a jack, so I don't even have a spare tire on board this car. So this car came with a Fix-A-Flat only, so if I get a flat tire, I'm probably calling AAA, which I suggest you have as well. Not everybody does, but I've used AAA almost every year that I've had it, and it saves me hundreds of dollars a year from having to call for a tow, or if I lock my keys in my car or something like that. But having a way to take off lug nuts and to elevate your car to change a tire are very important. Consider keeping those in your trunk as well, or somewhere on board the vehicle. Where I come from, it rains a lot. And the worst thing, and I'm not lying, man, I've had to do this before too. I pulled over on the highway to help a couple of people that were they didn't know how to change a tire on their car. And it was pouring down rain. And I didn't have a rain jacket with me, and I was soaked. I mean, freezing cold, soaking wet, pneumonia style, right? So I suggest also, it doesn't have to be nice, but keeping some kind of rain gear or even a poncho or something cheap in the trunk that you can unfold and just keep the majority of rainwater off of you if you're in that circumstance. Where I come from, in my work truck, I have 5 pieces of rain gear, but in my other vehicles, I might have just 1 jacket, and it doesn't have to be a Gore-Tex coat like this. It could be just something very simple, but always having a nice piece of rain gear can really make that tire change or that flagging down people or whatever it is that you in that circumstance really nice to keep you a little bit drier and a little bit warmer. So a good piece of rain gear, just pick one up, toss it in the trunk. You may never need it, but if you do, you'll be happy you had it. And guys, the last thing I suggest, this is actually something that you're not going to keep in your car. You might. I've actually done this before as well. I had a dead battery in my truck, and instead of asking people for a jump, I had a jumper box. It has a set of jumper cables. It also has an onboard compressor and all kinds of other functions that you might need, like an LED light. There's USB charging available on this particular model. This also does jumping. I started my diesel on it the other day and got a bunch of diesel dust on it, but there's also AC power. If you hit this button, you can plug in right here for AC power as well. This is a cool tool that you can have either in your garage. I've used it several times to jump my diesel, to jump other cars that the battery's dead on, and you just plug it in and keep it on 110. I've also used the air compressor to pump up my lawnmower tires and that kind of thing. So instead of trying to drag an air compressor over to my lawnmower shed, I was able just to take this, pump up the tire, and be done with it. So a jumper box is always a cool thing. There's a plug-in right here that you use a cord to plug it right into the wall, charges it up, and it's a nice add. Maybe not necessarily to keep in your car, but definitely something that I suggest you have around. So those are some essential tools for your car that you might consider keeping on board. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon to be notified when we're putting out new content. Don't forget to like this video, share it around, leave me a comment below, let me know what you thought of it, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.